Once upon a time, deep in a green and sunny forest filled with tall trees, sparkling streams, and singing birds, all sorts of animals lived together happily. There were turtles by the pond, owls in the tall oak trees, and rabbits hopping through the meadows. But there was one animal that all the others feared more than anything else in the whole forest. Let's find out what happened in the story of the Lion and the Clever Rabbit. In the middle of the forest, in a big dark den surrounded by rocks, lived a big, strong lion. He had a huge, shaggy mane the color of autumn leaves, sharp claws, and a roar so loud it shook the leaves off the trees. Every single day, the lion was hungry, and every day, he made a terrible rule. One animal had to come to his den to be his dinner. The forest that used to be full of laughter grew quiet and afraid. The animals were so scared. Every morning, they had to choose one friend to send to the lion's den, and every morning, that friend never came back. The rabbits, the deer, the birds, and the turtles all gathered together under the big oak tree and talked and talked. What could they possibly do about this big, hungry lion who was so much bigger and stronger than any of them? One day, it was finally time for a small, clever rabbit to go to the lion. All the other animals were sure this would be a very sad day. But this rabbit was different. The rabbit was little, yes, but the rabbit also had a very, very clever plan hidden up her sleeve. As the sun rose slowly over the hills, the other animals watched nervously as the little rabbit hopped slowly toward the lion's den, taking her time with every single step. The clever rabbit walked slowly, 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 stopping to smell flowers and look at clouds, taking much longer than she needed to. By the time she arrived, the sun was already high in the sky, and she was very, very late. The lion was pacing back and forth outside his den, so hungry and so angry. "Roar! Where have you been, little rabbit? I have been waiting all day long, and my stomach is growling." The rabbit bowed low, trembling just enough to look frightened, and said, "O great and mighty lion, I am ever so sorry. On my way here to be your dinner, another lion stopped me on the path. He said he was the true king of this forest, not you, and he looked even bigger and stronger than you." The lion's eyes grew wide with surprise and anger. "Another lion? In my forest? Nobody dares call himself king but me." The lion stood up tall and shook his big, shaggy mane until dust flew everywhere. "Nobody is king of this forest but me," he bellowed. "Take me to this other lion at once, so I can show him exactly who is the strongest, fiercest king in this whole forest." The clever rabbit nodded quickly, trying hard to hide her little smile. The clever little rabbit led the big, thundering lion deep into the forest, past the tall trees and the winding stream, all the way to an old, deep stone well full of dark, still water. "Look, great lion," the rabbit said, pointing with her tiny paw. "He is hiding down there in the water, waiting for you." The lion puffed out his chest and marched right up to the edge of the well. The lion walked up to the well and leaned over the edge to look down. Deep in the dark water, he saw another lion with a huge mane and fierce eyes looking right back up at him. It was only his own reflection shining on the water, but the lion, blinded by his own pride and anger, did not realize that at all. "So you think you are the king, do you?" The lion roared down at the water, baring his teeth at his own reflection. "I will show you once and for all who is stronger." And with one enormous, mighty jump, splash! The lion leaped right into the deep, dark well, sure that he was about to defeat his rival. Down in the deep well, the lion splashed and scrambled, but the walls were too steep and slippery, and he could not climb back out no matter how hard he tried. The clever little rabbit peeked over the edge, then hopped and hopped with joy, her ears bouncing with every happy leap, and raced back home through the forest as fast as her little legs could carry her to tell all the animals the wonderful news. All the animals gathered around and cheered for the clever rabbit. Hooray! Hooray for the bravest, cleverest rabbit in the whole forest. From that very day on, the forest was finally safe again, and every animal, the birds, the turtles, the deer, and all the little rabbits, could play together in the warm sunshine without ever being afraid again. And that is the story of the lion and the clever rabbit. It teaches us that being clever and brave is sometimes even stronger than being big and powerful. You do not have to be the biggest or the strongest to solve a big problem. Sometimes the smartest friend, even the smallest one, can help save the whole day for everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this story. I hope you enjoyed meeting the clever rabbit and the big, roaring lion, and I hope you learned that being smart can be even better than being strong. See you next time for another wonderful story. Bye-bye, friends, and sweet dreams.